Oh, I'll go into shot because that's what the cool kids do, to pretend like these are candid, like you're here. Wait a moment. Hi folks, we're gonna try something new today. We're gonna be chill, calm. Oh, and the battery's about to die. Okay, round two. I said this was gonna be a chill, easy video, and my battery died. So that's a vibe. We're just gonna roll with it. Trying something different, something fresh, something hopefully easy for you and for me. You can put this on in the background. I'm just gonna chat about what I've been reading lately. I didn't see the point in these videos, you know, the monthly wrap-up videos, because it's like, if you don't know who I am, why would you care? I also read randomly, so it's not like you are ever gonna know what you're gonna get watching these videos, and neither do I. And this might be a one-off. I recommend a beverage. I have a beach plum LaCroix, and I know that's not how you pronounce it, but it's how I pronounce it. Hi, welcome to my universe. This is my channel. I'm still wearing my pajamas because I'm an adult. So, what have I been reading lately? The answer, too many books. I would call it a problem, but not anymore. It's just a way of life. It's not for everyone. I don't necessarily recommend it. I have 4 to 5 that I'm actively reading right now. So let me get those and show those to you. We'll show and tell. So first, people ask me how I do this, and it's because I read different genres. So the first, we have a romance. It's The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. This was hip and happening on the internets, you might recall, and so of course I'm now reading it 3 years after anyone cared about it. And I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. I'm almost halfway through. I appreciate that, you know, a lot of these romances written by women, the dudes are kind of very idealized men in the sense that they kind of act like women sometimes, which, you know, is fun. It's fine. You know, we can all hope and dream. He sounds very different than Tiffy, who's the female protagonist, which is good because that's another thing with switching POVs, is when you're like, this could be the same person. But yeah, he seems more like a dude and very distinctive style. You can tell they're very different people. And the premise, if you don't know, is my girl Tiffy, her boyfriend broke up with her again, but this time he is engaged to another woman. So she needs to like leave. She should have left 5 million years ago, but she's leaving now. But she a broke ass girl in London. And Leon is offering a flat share situation to get extra money for reasons you'll find out later. I don't want to spoil it. And he works midnight shift. So he has an ad out being like, yo, you can use my apartment, my flat, to sleep in the evenings and then on the weekends. And I will have it to sleep during the day. So it's a 1 bed, 1 flat situation. And when I first came across this book, I was like, that is just hella stupid. I don't know why anyone would do that. And then a couple years passed and I just kept hearing British vloggers talking about rent prices in London. And then I'm like, fair enough. A pretty wild world of rent prices, and in a desperate situation, this is more plausible than I first gave it credit for. And then once you get that buy-in, like, it rolls. It rolls, and it's funny, and it's cute, and I like the characters, and yes, good romance, and follows a trend I've found with more recent contemporary romances, where like the prompts are a little harder and more grounded for each of the characters. Like what they're dealing with before and during coming together. It's just a lot more poignant, I want to say, than other romances I read years ago. And they're less stupid. And I can't think of any examples now to prove that to you, but I just remember reading romances maybe 10 years ago and being like, I swear to God, if they just had a conversation for 3 minutes, this would all be solved. Like there would be no plot, because it's like you have to say like one sentence to each other and you're like, bada bing, bada boom, this is done. And if you guys can't have that conversation, you're kind of idiots, and I'm not rooting for either of you. So I appreciate kind of smarter, more savvy romance plot elements. Next, I'm reading for a book club book. Lagoon, which I never heard of, by Nnedi Okorafor. This be a sci-fi in modern Nigeria, so that's pretty dope. I haven't read a lot of African books in general, but also genre fiction taking place in Africa, so that's kind of an interesting development. I'm not going to say a whole lot here because there will be a video in the future where I talk to my internet booktube friends Rosika and Jay about it, so get hip and excited about it. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just making up words now. Moving on. Then I had a history book called Midnight in Broad Daylight, a Japanese-American family caught between two worlds, written by Pamela Rotner Sakamoto. Really interesting history that you don't see a whole lot. So my girl Pamela, she meets this guy. I believe she meets Henry. She finds out his wild backstory and she's like, whoa, I need to write about a book about this. And boom, she did it. My girl Pamela did the thing that most of us writers say we're gonna do and then never do. But when you think brother on brother, you think Civil War. But this is a complicated family history where this Japanese family immigrates to the States. They're there until their dad dies. Then they move back to Japan for a couple of years. And then when Henry and Mary come of age, they go back to America because they love America, and their mom and siblings stay in Japan. But then guess what? Pearl Harbor happens. Suddenly, Mary and Henry are put into an internment camp. All dudes in Japan are getting primed and trained to be launched into the military. And then Henry ends up leaving the internment camp to become a linguist for the military. And so you just kind of follow the journeys of both sides of the family as they're grappling with this crazy situation, and they're caught in the middle because they're not quite American, they're not quite Japanese, they're somewhere in between. And so it's such a crazy, I can't imagine. It's wild. Like, no one wants you, no one likes you, you're constantly having to prove yourself. Oof. So interesting niche history read there. And then I'm reading Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And this is really cool. It's a series of nature essays about indigenous wisdom, scientific knowledge, and the teachings of plants. Really cool. I am such a sucker for nonfiction that takes a topic and blends it almost with some memoir, or like these two different topics, and weaves them together, and it creates something beautiful and so much more. It's just interesting, the connections that are made between two topics. Not too far in, so I can't say too much, but I'm enjoying it. And then I don't have a physical representation, but I am listening to the 5th Harry Potter book on audiobook in the car and when I'm playing Ooblets, which is a slice of life PC game. Which is great. It's like the only fiction book I can listen to because it's like, I know everything that happens. So if I derp out for a little bit, it doesn't matter because it's like, I don't know what happens. This book that I've read a cajillion times and then I've seen the movies a billion times because it was big back in the day and always on ABC Family. Okay, and then we have the kind of reading list. For those who haven't seen, I'm doing a video series where I read chapter by chapter on Midnight Sun. So I'm kind of reading this, but I'm not like doing like how I normally would read something, which is just reading it. Chapter at a time, and so if I'm not ready to make a video, I'm not reading it. So I'm kind of reading it, but yeah, I don't consider it like an active read. Then I have Roar, which I hate the title. I hate the title. I like the book, hate the title. How to Match Your Food and Fitness to Your Female Physiology for Optimum Performance, Great Health, and a Strong, Lean Body for Life by Stacy T. Sims, PhD. Girlfriend. That was such a long ass subtitle. But anyway, I do love this because you have a person who's actually, it actually makes sense for them to be talking about women's health and women's fitness. And like, not only has she done it with her own body and with her own challenges, but then she's gotten the education to back up the other stuff. So I love that she is pulling back the curtain on a lot of things we've heard or that we've thought and be like, actually, that's for dudes. Or actually, because of the female body, you should eat more of this or less of this, or you have a greater chance of injury for an ACL tear. So this is what you should do to prevent that. And that's awesome. I don't think it's awesome I had to be 30 to find out some of these things. I take notes with these kinds of nonfiction, so that's why it's kind of reading, because if I'm not in the mood to take notes or what have you, I just don't read it. Because it's a lot of notes. It's a lot of good information. So it's a good problem to have, but taking my time. And then I started this, which is Moby Dick by Herman Melville. I was actually planning on making a video earlier this year in February for it because I was going to see the play of Moby Dick, but then your girl didn't make it. She lost her own challenge. I still very much was enjoying this book and I do plan on finishing it and coming back to it. It's just the heat was off. I no longer had a deadline because I missed. I keep beginning to come back to it and I will. It's just I keep getting sidetracked by all these shiny other reads or being in the mood for something else. So, but I am on page 134 and it's a chunker. When I do finish it, I still plan on making a video. It just won't be a race to finish kind of video. And then I have a reference book, so I'm not reading it per se, again, in the traditional sense, because it's not something I'm going to necessarily read front to back or read all in one go, because it's a fat boy. But I'm working on a vampire novel, and Cypress from my writing group was kind enough to gift me this vampire book, completely revamped, the Encyclopedia of the Undead, and it's just so detailed and I love it, and it's great because it keeps me off of rabbit holing on the internet. And yeah, I'm percolating some ideas, so good one. If you've been wanting something on vampires, those will be more than you ever need. And then, because I'm a mad woman, I was feeling a little sad, a little bummed for not really any good reason. So when I want to be responsible, I go to the library because I get the feeling of shopping without the pain to my wallet that shopping does. So I checked out a bunch of other books. We'll see if I get to them. It doesn't matter. There's no consequences. I can return them. But they were just what I was in the mood for. I was kind of vibing with. Let me share. First we have This Is Marketing by Seth Godin. You can't be seen until you learn to see. Businessy folks love Seth Godin. I think I've read one or two of his books. I read Purple Cow and then maybe the secondary one. I don't know. I think he has a lot of quotable content, but from what I've read so far, there wasn't anything that wowed me. And then like he'll say some things, I'll be like, okay, that's fair. I can see that. But then he doesn't give me examples for me to really start percolating how I can do that for myself or how I can really envision that. I don't know. But I've heard a lot of good things about this one by him, so I'll give it a gander. Then we have The Thank You Economy by Gary Vee. He's a popular guy in the entrepreneur space, the online space. I read his like jab, 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 right hook book, but it was very dated and old and I wasn't really impressed by it. But also, I don't know, it's a real tricky thing because things just change so fast on the online space that it's not, I don't know, fair to him to really critique something that I think was like over a decade old. But on the other hand, I don't know. Also, I hated how it was formatted. But I do like that he gave examples. So I did appreciate that. But I just find a lot of people who are in the online space, when they create a book, they just have like the bare bones minimum beginner style stuff that could have just been an article. And I'm just like, like, I get that you want the widest demographic possible, so you want it to be accessible to beginners. I get that, like, you want to have the more intermediate and advanced stuff behind a paywall so you can get a more premium price and like get them in your funnel. But I think there's the educated beginner's way of crafting a book. Because for me, it's like, if I'm still going out and purchasing something, if I'm owning something, I want it to have solid value. I want it to be something I can pick up again and again. I want it to be something that, again, is more than just a free article I could have read online. We'll see. Maybe this one's better. Maybe it's not. Maybe I read it. Maybe I won't. Then I have a couple of different essay collections. I'm wanting to write more essays. Hopefully these will inspire me. I got The 2000s Made Me Gay, because, dude, that title. Essays on Pop Culture by Grace Perry. The only thing I know about this is the title. It got me. It got me. So we'll see. I haven't read anything by this author, so essays are really hit or miss for me depending on their voice and their insight. Then we have Escape into Meaning, Essays on Superman, Public Benches, and Other Obsessions by Evan, who's the creator of the Nerd Writer, who I love, and I watch all his video essays. And I've been meaning to read his book, and I finally saw it in the library. So I'm like, oh, dude, gotta support Evan. Then, some of my best friends. Essays on Lip Service by Taja Eason. And yeah, I just like the little summary. Apparently it's a debut collection. Fearless and Darkly Comic, about race, justice, and the limits of good intentions. They're apparently the editor-in-chief of Catapult. So I'm curious, yeah, how people interpret different things that are going on in our culture and society, and how we write about these things. Because I think that I want to be able to do that with my essay writing. And just in general, just like have a better understanding of how I'm interpreting these different things that are going on, and be able to reflect on it in a more meaningful, deeper way than just like a flash in the pan, like half-second reaction to going, ah. Last one, The End of Solitude, Selected Essays on Culture and Society by William Church. Apparently it's a groundbreaking reflection on culture and society. Woo, woo, woo. Some of the questions asked: what is the internet doing to us? What is college for? What are the myths and metaphors we live by? So yeah, impulse grabs, but not purchases, which is key in these expensive times when Kelly is unemployed. So there's that. What else do I need to talk to you guys about? Oh, I'm not going to get into all the things that I've read this month or this year, because that would be insane and we'd be here way too long. But I will say that the most recent book I finished was The Heart Proposal by Helen Hong, and that was good. I gave it 4 stars. It's a chick dealing with burnout and finds out she's on the spectrum. And yeah, just another contemporary romance. Good times. And yeah, I've been kind of in a romancy mood. Not that you know from the 5 million different things I'm reading that are not romance, but yeah. I'd love to know what you're reading or thinking about reading or not reading down below. Let me know if you care for these like little chitty chat, casual time videos. And I know I like videos that I can just put on in the background, so maybe you do too. Hope you have a lovely day, afternoon, evening, future, whatever. Like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Bye!